The crypto market in the short term may be facing the end of a bearish trend. If we analyze the Ethereum chart, a chart that is 100% representative of the entire crypto ecosystem just like Bitcoin, you will notice how smart money has been aggressively selling Ethereum. After this sale, they are revealed with this strong bearish impulse, and Ethereum is being followed in the form of a bearish channel. Frankly, for the immediate and short term, this doesn't look good at all, but let's analyze the following, as not everything has to be so disastrous. Let's recap with Ethereum's daily chart, and here it will be quite clear that the predominant macro trend is still bullish. Here we experienced a crypto boom. In 2021, the bear market began, during which smart money, after crashing the market, started accumulating positions to drive cryptocurrencies upward. Here we have identified a creek, which we certainly identified a long time ago. And if we look for the institutional target, which is that level where smart money will want to take profits, we identify target number 1 here and target number 2 up here, and notice how, after patiently accumulating, smart money took its profit at target number 2. Hence, we are seeing this downward reaction. On the other hand, we must not overlook this micro distribution, as if we expand the chart a bit, I think it is quite evident. And I say I think as a manner of speaking, that smart money has been distributing ferociously here. This is when it interests us to plot a volume profile to analyze where the point of control is, that level where the highest transactional volume has existed in that range. And this is when this red line is plotted for us, a red line that coincides exactly with the second institutional target. This is when we find not one but 2 reasons why the price of Ethereum has reacted at the price level of $4,070 to start its bearish trend. But what I'm explaining to you is absolutely nothing new. We have been analyzing this for several weeks now, but it is essential to remind the entire community where we come from. And for those who are a bit lost and wonder why it is necessary to analyze what has already happened, the answer is quite simple. This analysis helps us understand the positioning of smart money, as if we know that there are large institutions sold in Ethereum here. Of course, this will interest us to know if they will defend their position or if at some point they will come and attack. That's why when the price approaches these areas, based on experience, we will be looking for the POC of this distribution. This is why an analysis of the past is useful in the present. And I say this because some people might be a bit confused, being newcomers with very little time in the financial markets, as they might not understand why we focus on what is happening. Similarly, notice the importance of not forgetting that here we have a bearish impulse. Look at that, a tremendous bearish impulse, and analyzing the corrective pattern of the bearish impulse, we see that we are facing a complex corrective pattern. The art of studying corrections in financial markets is really deep. It requires study and research, which of course we cannot cover in a short 15-minute YouTube video. But what I can briefly explain is that in a complex corrective pattern that ends with a Z, the price will always tend to seek the trend line. I am drawing now on the screen in relation to its bearish impulse. So, see how important and crucial it is to analyze what has already happened in the past to study what could, I repeat, could happen in the present and near future. Assuming, of course, that no one has a crystal ball and it is impossible to predict the future. With this information on the table, let's delve into what matters most to you right now. Once you understand why Ethereum's price reversed where it did, and remembering that this in itself was an entire distribution that broke through, leading us on this bearish path, let's analyze the following. And this will be clear on the 4-hour chart. Well, here we have a bearish channel. As I mentioned before, the theory of corrective patterns is really deep and has a lot of development. Similarly, I will tell you that after an impulse in the market, smart money follows it with a bearish channel, and what I'm telling you also has a lot of development and explanation behind it, which we also can't fully cover in videos, but just follow the explanation. Okay, here we have also identified a defense zone. It's a level where smart money, very skillfully here, reaccumulated to drive the price upward, and now they will want to defend it. Just notice, every time the price has threatened the price, these people have come out to protect their position. This shows us that we are in a key area. And keeping this in mind, notice when the price was in free fall, we already saw that the landing zone, with great confidence, was going to be this defense zone. And that's how we shared it with our colleagues, Liv, on Crypto Insight. Look, we already know where they're going, right? We already know where they're going, right, folks? Look at Ethereum. This gap, goodbye. We already know where they're going. Okay, the message is simple. It has room to fall. Here, strategies must be born. Look at how it falls, damn it. Aggressive scalping re-entry strategies. This is it. This is it. Continuing with the analysis of Ethereum, let's look at the following. Here, you can clearly see this bearish impulse, which has had its W here. This is a poor I, and at some point, it's on the table to go looking for a Z, but before looking for it, we have to analyze the following. We can also work on a reverse corrective pattern. Basically, here you have to believe that there is a bullish impulse, that here we have AW, that this is a poor I through and through, and that right now, we are experiencing a Z in the form of a wedge. I think those who study corrective patterns see this very clearly. If you don't study them, you clearly won't see this. Ask someone who has never studied how to do integrals to understand it without having studied it first. Imagine that. Okay, now that we see that we are facing a Z, this Z can stretch as much as it wants. We don't know for how long. It's a complete mystery. In summary, this can keep falling, but we will never lose sight of the fact that we are facing a reverse Z, in other words. Here we must assess if the defense zone is protected, and soon we will look for that macro Z. Of course, you must not lose sight of the fact that you are in a reverse Z now, and it may keep going down first before wanting to give us the prize. And in this scenario, in this possibility, we would be experiencing the classic trap over a defense zone before looking for the prize. And now I will show you what we see inside the candles, which allows us to identify smart money and which the traditional retail investor is unable to see. But before that, welcome to Crypto Insight, your ethical and moral channel for cryptocurrency technical analysis. Here, we really know what we're talking about. We conduct advanced technical analysis that has been developed for over 12 years. We upload videos several times a week. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, let me know and leave a comment with your opinion. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click on the bell so you don't miss the next opportunity. Before seeing inside the candles, we need to put some context on the chart. You are looking at the Solana chart, and we will see it in a daily time frame. Here, just notice the importance we give to this event. These types of maneuvers are usually worked by smart money to set key levels. A key level that, like Ethereum, but in a completely different structure, Solana has come to seek and react to. But once we have this context, see how important it is to understand the chart's past. For anyone who thinks analyzing the chart's past is easy, I'm sorry to say you're terribly mistaken. It's an art that takes years to master, and if it seems easy to you because you see it here, I can only say that's quite a compliment on your part. Thank you. That being said, let's zoom in on the area of interest in Solana. We see how the price has dropped in a very aggressive manner, upon which they have compressed it, and it's very clear they have distributed to us, lowering the time frame to 4 hours on the distribution. We see a black swan event or a black swan. This concept gives strength to Solana's price, as the smart money here is extremely sold, wanting to continue protecting their position. The logic is quite simple. Imagine the JP Morgan analyst who has sold here and will present to his boss on Monday the report of the investments he is managing. And this analyst says, "Hello, JP Morgan boss. Look, the price is rising and it's jeopardizing our profitability from our bearish positioning." How do you think that boss will react? It's for that reason that smart money protects its position with advanced zones, as they don't want to see their account in the red. These people must think something like that's for retail traders, in a sort of classist way, you know. Okay, joking aside, it's vital to understand that this is a defense zone and the implication of losing it, because if this zone is lost, in plain terms, if the price rises surpassing the level, what's being said to the world is that these institutions that are sold here no longer have any interest in continuing to defend. Do you realize how we're not trying to pull out the crystal ball, but rather understanding the positioning of smart money, which can only be done by analyzing and understanding the past to have an idea of what might happen in the near future? If I've clicked your head for the first time and you're part of the small group that thinks analyzing the past isn't useful, I'm satisfied. You've awakened from the matrix, okay? And now let's pay attention to this bearish impulse. Notice how its response is much shorter. We're dealing with a harmonic failure. This tells us that if the price manages to break through an opposite trend line, we might just believe it. In other words, if the defense zone is lost, we have a bullish path. This is the message. Having said that, at the same time, here we have a bearish impulse. This is a W. This is a poor I, which we'll see if it wants to reach the trend line or not, or if it stays halfway, who knows. But the idea is to go look for a Z. It's nothing I haven't already told you about in Ethereum. But it's important to also analyze altcoins to cross-reference our analysis and draw much broader conclusions. And here, we simply have to ask ourselves a very simple question, which is if we are obliged for the price to make this drop, which would be Ethereum's trap before going up. Frankly, we don't don't know if this will happen or not. No one knows. If someone knows, please tell us. Send us a telegram, and we all benefit. Don't be selfish. But since I know that's not going to happen, our way of following up on the matter is to assess this defense zone. And under the same macro theory of such protection, those purchases are being protected in a much more micro optic. Therefore, in Solana, we can tolerate, of course, attempts to break through. But if this is recovered, everything gains a lot of strength so that we don't go looking for that trend line and we go straight for the Z. And here, be careful because we'll have to fight against the origin of the breakout. That's clear. But if, on the other hand, the defense zone is lost and not recovered, the only message is that Ethereum will go looking for structural traps of what I showed you before, and that Solana will need to go looking for the trend line of the bearish impulse before going for that Z. And now look at the type of trading opportunities we look for live practically daily with the Crypto Insight members, and see how we recently identified a very, very good long position in a live stream in the Cardano price. What can we look for? Of course, it's what we've been looking for a certain time ago, right? It was something like this, but well, I'm honest, right? I'm not passionate about it. Although I am, yes? Why? Ethereum tells us, hey, maybe we're at the magical point. Difficult, but it could be, to continue with the narrative. So, if you would like to capture this type of opportunities like the ones I just showed you, and if you liked our advanced technical analysis, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and click on the bell icon so that YouTube notifies you of future posts. Good luck with your trading, and until next time.